Hey everyone, Dr. B with another video for GrowGreenerGuru.com. In this video we're going to show you how to make cannabis arthritis cream, an all-organic balm that is great for any kind of pain or muscle pain. Anybody that is suffering from arthritis or lupus or fibromyalgia or any kind of hard worker that has a lot of back pain or any kind of pain whatsoever, this is a great topical cream to make for that. So anyway, we're going to show you how to make it and the different things that you can use. The most common thing you're probably going to see it made with is olive oil. This is mainly because not many people are allergic to olives. A great product that would be better than this, but a lot of people are allergic to, is peanut oil. A lot of people are allergic to that, but it's a better oil to use because it has a higher burning point or burning temp or melting point or whatever. It's basically you can get a lot hotter without burning it, so it's a great oil to use. Vegetable oil you can use, and again olive oil. They're all about the same, about 22% fat. You cannot use regular butter or margarine in this recipe. It does not really work that well with a balm, with a topical balm. You can use other things like coconut oil and other oils like that, but you're probably going to want to stick to either olive oil or with peanut oil. So anyway, what else you're going to need is pure beeswax. This is relatively cheap. I get it locally for about $5 a pound. There's a lot of bee farmers around here with excess amounts. I mean, bucketfuls of this. It's pretty cheap to make. So, it's really cheap for a farmer to get it. So, it's not involved with honey. It's basically what's left over. Kind of like us cannabis farmers. It'd be like the trim to your buds. It's basically not honey. It's just the extra profit to them. So basically it's very easy to get. You can have a lot of uses for it. You can make candles out of it and stuff like that, but basically what this is going to do is create a salve for your product, for your oil, to make it be able to be absorbed to the skin. This is some tincture that we already made with olive oil. As you can see, it's very liquidy. You can't really rub that into your skin. I'm sure you can, but it's going to run right off. But anyway, this beeswax makes it into a salve, so it's easier to be absorbed. But I'm going to show you a little trick of the trade. You're going to want to use some emu oil. This is 7%, if I can find it really quick, 7% pure emu oil. This is called Blue Emu. You can get this on the shelf or on Amazon, but you can get 100% emu oil. And what emu oil is good for, basically opens up the pores in your skin and allows deeper penetration for any kind of topical cream that you may use. So you can use this with conjunction with almost any kind of topical cream, and it's great for pain management. But basically what I'm going to use this for is to make it more of a salve, so it's more of a lotion, and you just kind of mix it to eye, and you just kind of play with it and kind of see what you want to. But anyway, it's scented free, doesn't have any scent to it, you can't smell it, doesn't smell like anything, but it's basically like a lotion. You can use this or any kind of arthritis cream to mix it with. You also have this. This is more like it's very minty. It's I don't know, it opens up the pores in your nose, that's for sure. But anyway, so yeah, what you're gonna need is about 4 ounces of trim, or about 2 ounces of cannabis. You're gonna need about 1 ounce of beeswax, and this is about 15 to 16 grams right here. You're actually going to want to experiment with that. Start small and then go big. Don't, because you can't take the beeswax out, because if it gets too thick, then you can't really add more oil if you used all the oil to start with. So add just a little bit of beeswax at a time, and then kind of make yourself from there. But I'm going to start with about 15 grams. I noticed when I made it last time with about 1 ounce, which it called for, it's a little bit too thick. So anyway, I had to cross it with a lot of emu oil to make it more of a lotion. But anyway, what else you're going to need besides those is coffee filters. You're only going to need 1 coffee filter if you're going to do it like I'm about to do. You're going to need a pan, and you're going to want to fill that with water, and we'll show you that in a minute. But anyway, what else you're going to need is a little screen. That's why you're only going to need 1 coffee filter if you do it the way I do it. These work great. I mean, it just works great for sifting through. And also a glass syringe if you can find them. This is actually pretty old. A buddy of mine gave this to me, and it's like 30 years old, but it was never used, still in the bottle, or still in the box. And yeah, so anyway, a glass syringe to separate the oil with is great. The olive oil will not turn hard, or any of the oils will not turn hard like butter will. So they'll kind of remain their same consistency, just a little bit darker. Obviously, this is the oil that I made from the olive oil. It's a lot different. So anyway, let's get into making the oil. Okay, now we have our water to a slow simmer. You do not want it boiling, so you want it between 180 and 200 degrees. This is basically to keep your material from not decarboxylating. And if you guys did not see our can of butter video, we were talking about decarboxylating. If you're making can of butter, you want it to be psychoactive. You want it to get you high in sensitive form. But anyway, the cannabinoids and THC found in cannabis is more therapeutic in its natural state. So basically THCA, CBDA, CBNA, CBGA, all those are the natural forms, and that's found basically in the cannabis bud before it's turned and burned. If you burn cannabis, all those THCA, CBD, and all that, they lose that molecule, and that's what it becomes psychoactive. So THCA is not psychoactive; it will not get you high, and that's when you burn it, with a flame in your bowl. That's decarboxylating right then and there. When you're cooking it, you have to heat your material up to the proper temperature. But anyway, this most of the temperature is around 280 to 320 degrees, I believe, for the whole decarboxylating thing. If you want to decarboxylate your material for like can of butter, you would put it on a cookie sheet for about 10 minutes at 250 degrees, I believe. But anyway, making this lotion, you do not want to decarboxylate. You want everything to stay in its natural form. So you want to keep your water below boiling and about simmering. And like I said, about 4 ounces of trim. You could use cannabis too, but I always like to use the trim. Anyway, go ahead and just pour it all on top. Make sure you have some kind of mixing utensil to get it all in there. And let me grab that really quick. And just a spoon will do you. It's basically get everything saturated and wet. And you're going to want to use, for this 4 ounces of trim, basically have enough water for it to be completely soaked. And then add a cup and a half of the oil that you plan on using. And in this case, we're going to be using peanut oil. Our patients are not allergic to peanuts, so we're going to have to probably add a little bit more water to this. We'll see when we add the oil if it rises a little bit more. But you do not want this burning on the side, so that's why you add the water. Okay, it looks like we'll be okay. Like I said, a cup and a half of oil. And just go ahead and let that soak in, and you're going to want to give it about 2 hours. There's really no more, especially when you're not decarboxylating, you don't need to do it any longer than that. But go ahead, you don't need to keep a lid on it, just keep turning it about every 15 minutes for about 2 hours. So it's been about 2 hours and we're getting ready to go ahead and strain. We have our little strainer that's basically perfect for a mason jar. It sits right on top. And we're going to go little by little. We're not going to show you the whole process, but we're going to just show you the concept. Just go ahead and little by little, just take a spoonful and you kind of fill this up, this little strainer, without trying to make a mess as much as possible. And go ahead and press down and go ahead and just squeeze out all that extra oil. Okay, so we just finished straining the remaining product, and what we have left is this. On bottom here we have all water and basically any kind of unwanted material, waste, and from here to here is all straight oil. And the best way that I have found to separate this, if you guys have any better ways, please comment and tell us all. But I use some kind of syringe. I use this glass syringe. Basically just go right on top. I'm not going to show you the whole process because it will be here for a while, but it'll take me about 5 to 10 minutes to do this. Alright, so now it's time to do the coffee filter, the second process of filtration. It's going to take a little bit, so while we're waiting, you basically just keep filling it up. But while we're waiting, we're going to get our beeswax started. And we're going to put our stove at about halfway. If you're using a gas stove, use about halfway. On mine, I'm using an electric stove, so I'm going to use about 4 out of a possible 8. And we're going to get that melted, and while that's pretty much all melted, it's going to be, by the time it gets all melted, my oil should be done. And we're just going to mix the two together and quickly just like mix it together as best as we can and get it into another container and refrigerate it. And while we're doing that, you're going to want to rinse your pan off with a paper towel, wipe it down really good before it cools down. When beeswax hardens, it's harder than wax, so it kind of sticks to a pan, even to a non-stick pan, which this one is. It's a non-stick pan. It still sticks to it. It's sticky stuff. So that's just a little tip, but we're gonna go ahead and pause for a minute and get back to you when this is all melted down and all filtered. Okay, so we've added our beeswax to our oil, and we're gonna actually add a little bit more beeswax. From right now, as you can see, it doesn't really look like much, but once we cool this down in the refrigerator, it's gonna take on some shape. So go ahead and get some kind of container. This is a glass container, and a lid preferably too. And throw it in there and throw it in the refrigerator, let it cool down. You can even throw it in the freezer, let it cool down, and then see the texture of it, and then you can apply more beeswax if needed to make it more pliable to the skin. Also, we will be adding in some blue emu oil. Like I said earlier, it contains 7% pure emu oil. If you can find pure emu oil, it's also a great thing to use, but it's not really a lotion. This is more of a lotion, so it kind of adding this to the cannabis oil, and it just makes it the texture more as a lotion than anything. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and throw this in this cup, and we're gonna show you what it looks like after refrigerated. This is what it came out. It's been about 20 minutes since it's been in the freezer, and granted, this is 15 grams of beeswax and 4 ounces of material to 1.5 cups of butter. So usually they call for about 2 ounces of beeswax, but that makes it way too hard and to play with. This is actually a little bit too hard in my opinion. It resembles can of butter a lot, but when at room temperature, it'll definitely smooth up a little bit. So anyway, I tend to like to mix my emu oil with it just to give it a little kick, but we won't be showing you that. You basically just put it to your taste and how much you really want. There's really no requirement to it. But anyway, this is really good, again, for any kind of pain. It's a topical cream. And hopefully this video helped you guys out on how to make it. If you have any questions, let me know, as always. And until next time, keep it green. Peace out, guys.